Hey guys, welcome back into Faith in Football. Sorry about that. Yes, we're having a part two. And thankfully we got cut off right in between the sleepers and the bust. So as I've said before, don't get paid to do this, so really can't afford the premium Zoom that I do this on. So bear with. I appreciate the patience, guys. So we were talking before we got cut off about going into the bust and who the bust was. It was Samuel. So we're going to go back to that and we're going to kick this part of the episode off talking about how Samuel, the first king of Israel, was a bust. Now, he started out, as all busts do, with a lot of promise, a lot of, a lot of experience. Well, not a lot of experience, but a lot of production. Like when Saul first came on the scene, like he was defeating armies. He turned the people around. He led the people of Israel to success the same way that a lot of these busts have led a lot of fantasy managers to championships, to success in fantasy football by having them on the roster. But something happened along the way, the same way it did with Saul, where that production, that expectation doesn't match what they're doing now. Saul got angry, got jealous, the same way that the people who wanted him in there were jealous of the other kingdoms around them because they all had kings. They all had something that the people of Israel wanted. Now, the people of Israel had something unique. They had something special. They were God's chosen people, but that wasn't enough for them. So in 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 8, we read where Saul's getting jealous. David's going out and he's defeated a great army. He's had a great victory. And the women are outside. They're, beating their tambourines. They're singing, Saul has killed his thousands and David his 10,000s. This is what it says. 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 8. This made Saul very angry. What's this? He said. They credit David with 10,000s and me with only thousands. Next, they'll be making him their king. Now, what Saul didn't realize was the fact that he had already been anointed. Before he even went and killed Goliath, David had already been anointed by Samuel as the next king of Israel because he was instructed by God to do so. So David's already walking around knowing that he's going to be the next king of Israel. He already knows that that's the promise that God has given him. It's taking a while. Now, the same way that it might take a while for you and I to realize what God really intended for us versus what we think we're supposed to be doing. I'll tell you right now, throughout my life, there's been times where I thought I was supposed to be in one place, and that was only because that's what I wanted at the time. It wasn't what God wanted for me. It wasn't until I started surrendering and humbling myself and going, okay, Lord, where do you want me? What do you want me to do? That's why I'm here talking to you today. It's because God told me, hey, go and try to reach these people, or actually go and reach these people. There's no try here. Okay. I'm out here. I'm reaching people now for God through fantasy football. So if you don't think that God can speak to you through fantasy football, you're sadly mistaken because he's done it with me. So when you're thinking about these busts, I want you to think about what Saul did. He got jealous. He started wanting things that he saw around him. Okay. He was worrying about other people. We don't have to worry about other people when you're following God. All you got to do is worry about following God. He'll take care of the rest. Okay. David didn't worry about it. David went out and did what God told him to do, and God fulfilled the promise that he gave David. He took away what Saul had and gave it to David. So when you're walking around and you think that God can't speak to you, God can't use you, God can use whoever he wants. And you're no exception. So let's get into our bust. My first bust, Davante Adams. I know a lot of people in the football world think that Davante Adams is one of, if not the best wide receivers in the game today. Yes, they're including Justin Jefferson. Yes, they're including Ja'Marr Chase. But when it comes to production, when it comes to I've been there, done that type thing, Davante Adams has been there and done that. But here's the problem. He's currently going as a wide receiver 9. Last year, he finished as wide receiver 12. Yes, that's still number 1. But this year, he's going to be getting a carousel of Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Now, I'll tell you right now, Aiden O'Connell, he's a good dude. Like, not that I know him personally, but he's a good player. I think he's adequate, but he's not going to get you wide receiver 1 production out of Davante Adams. Gardner Minshew. Look, I love Gardner today. I absolutely love seeing Gardner on the field. He just plays with an enthusiasm that I think all of us would love to have most of the time. Now, last year with Michael Pittman in Indianapolis with the Colts, Pittman finished number 13. But here's the thing. In Indianapolis with the Colts, Gardner didn't really have a steady run game. Jonathan Taylor was hurt. He was in and out. And they really kind of had to throw the ball more. And Pittman was it. Pittman was the number 1 guy. With the Raiders, they just brought in Brock Bowers. They still have Myers on the squad. And you've got a run-heavy team with Antonio Pierce as the head coach. They want to run the ball. They want to grind it out. They want to rely on defense and the run game to win games. Now, they're in the AFC West. They're going to be going up against the Chiefs, so they're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball against the Niners. Seattle, we'll see. But I'm telling you guys right now, Davante Adams going where he's going and paying the price that you're going to have to pay for him, not worth it. I'm not seeing it. Like I said with Ja'Marr Chase in the first episode of the Sleepers, when I gave him my honorable mention, let him be someone else's headache. Okay. So Josh Jacobs is my number 2. Josh Jacobs currently is going as running back number 11 in ADP. Last year, he finishes running back 7. Now, here's the thing. He's going from the Raiders, who I just mentioned were a very run-heavy offense. Now he goes to Green Bay. And you're thinking, okay, Aaron Jones has had success up there. But here's the thing. With Josh Jacobs going up there, and yes, Aaron Jones had success up there. However, he does have Matt LaFleur as his head coach, and Matt LaFleur is a die-hard committee back, does not want to go 1 RB, okay? He was with a 24-year-old Derrick Henry in Tennessee, and he still found ways to get someone else the ball. So when you're looking at Josh Jacobs, currently going as the running back 11, look, there's people around him that are better picks than Josh Jacobs, okay? Matter of fact, let me pull this up real quick so I'm not speaking out of school. So, Josh Jacobs going as running back 11. Running back 12 is Isaiah Pacheco. High-powered offense. He's going to be the guy. Much better pick. Rachaad White, 2 picks later. Rachaad White is it in Tampa Bay. There is nobody else on this depth chart in Tampa. So much better pick than trying to rely on Josh Jacobs in a committee backfield with Green Bay. James Cook in Buffalo. Look, you can't get a better offense. Well, one of the top offenses in the league in Buffalo. And James Cook, again, just like Rachaad White, is it in Buffalo. Joe Mixon. The Texans brought Joe Mixon in. They wanted him. They brought him in, paid him money, and he is it in the Texans backfield. Okay, the Dameon Pierce experiment is over. It's done with. Don't even sweat it. Okay. Now, will Joe Mixon produce like Josh Jacobs? I could definitely see that as an extreme possibility. They're gonna be throwing the ball. They're the defense and with the Texans, eh. So when you're making your choices and you're looking at Josh Jacobs, again, let him be someone else's headache and take one of these other backs as your pick in that spot. You're gonna get better production. So my number 3 for my sleeper, or I'm sorry, for my bust candidate, none other than Mr. I'm going to talk myself out of every single franchise in the NFL before I retire, Stefon Diggs. Look, Stefon Diggs complained his way out of Minnesota into Buffalo, was happy to be there, did awesome, was attached to an outstanding quarterback with Josh Allen. Matter of fact, the number 1 quarterback in fantasy for a couple of years in a row. Now he talks himself out of Buffalo into the Texans again with a great quarterback. But here's the catch. See, in Minnesota, he was the man. In Buffalo, he was the man. Texans, he's just a guy. Okay. A lot of people call that a jag, just a guy. Okay. When he gets into the Texans, look, he's going to be competing with Tank Dell, who's already got chemistry with CJ Stroud. He's competing with Nico Collins, who finally had his breakout and has chemistry with CJ Stroud. So he's not going into this and being able to be the guy. Now he's going currently at wide receiver 16, right behind Nico Collins, his teammate. Okay. Deebo Samuel is there. Right after him, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf. These are all guys going after Stefon Diggs. DK is the number 1 wide receiver for Seattle. Pittman, number 1 wide receiver for the Colts. Cooper Kupp, because of the injury to Puka Nacua, he is the number 1 wide receiver for the Rams. You know, DJ Moore is where we get a little more complicated. He's got Roma Doomsday. He's got Keenan Allen, but he's still listed as the number 1 wide receiver for the Bears. Jalen Waddle. Yes, he's the number 2, but a much higher powered offense than the Texans. He's going to be the guy. Okay. He's right behind Tyreek Hill. Okay, guys, we've seen the Dolphins support multiple high-powered fantasy football assets. Don't be scared of taking Jalen Waddle over Stefon Diggs and let Stefon Diggs, basically the number 2 or number 3 option on the Texans, be someone else's headache. Okay, same way that Saul became someone else's headache. Okay, he got out of the way, made room for David. Who's going to be your David? Who's going to take the place of your Saul? Who's going to take the place of that bust that you're going to avoid because you listened to me and you said, nope, not today, Satan. I'm not going to have you on my team messing up my fantasy season. So that's our bust and sleeper episode. Sorry about the part 1, part 2. But as I said, Zoom cut me off a little bit, so we'll deal with it. It's all about adjusting. It's all about staying fluid. If you guys missed the top 10 things you need to know before you draft, make sure you go back and check that out. Down the bottom, subscribe, like, and share. Go back and check out all of the videos that I have up there. Check out the rookie episode that's going up. Make sure you check out the mock draft episode with myself and Blaze. And the next episode right after this one is going to be a mock draft episode. I'm going to be running through a mock draft by myself with the AI. We're going to kind of be breaking down the board. I'm going to be going and trying to do a balance, but I'm going to see what the draft gives me. Try to give you guys some pointers before you get into your drafts. So down below, make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know where you're listening from or where you're watching from and what your fantasy question is, and I will be sure to get to it. Okay, guys. Till next time, I want you guys to remember, first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing down the bottom. And don't forget all of my sponsors, Keller's Bakery. Special shout out to Dusty. Thank you for coming on this episode today. You can find them down at 627 Lafayette Street in Youngsville, Louisiana. Don't forget, you show them the proof of subscription to the show. Pick up your 2 free cookies, no purchase necessary. That's awesome deal. Thank you, Dusty, for that. Zia of Lafayette, you can go down there and check them out. They're down at 235 Doucet Road in Lafayette, Louisiana. Make sure you give them a call for your catering needs, 337-227, I'm sorry, 337-406-0013. And make sure that you show them proof of subscription when you go down there and eat. You get a free appetizer, guys. I'm just piling up these freebies for y'all. Now, Amis can't get you anything for free because it's a grocery store, but go down there, check them out. They have over 200 items from 50 different local vendors. If you guys love the freeze-dried candy, go down there. They got freeze-dried candy local. They got local farm fresh eggs. They got local beef, local pork, just a ton of other things. Make sure you go down there and check them out. They're at 603 Jefferson Street, downtown Lafayette. Make sure you tell them that Neil sent you and tell Bradley I said hi. So for myself, for my beautiful tech crew, my wife, Amanda, we thank you for tuning in and want you to remember football's good, but God is greater. We'll see you guys next time on Faith in Football.